Dude, have you ever wondered what department Cieom has and what they have to offer?
No.
Well, I have, and I think other students too.
Yeah, that's a great point.
You know what we should do?
What?
We should get our classmates to record videos showcasing each department.
Oh, great idea, eh?
And we'll start with the Marshallese studies.
Hello, my name is Mylast Bilimon, and here at Theomae, I am a Marshallese Studies instructor, also the chairperson for the Marshallese Studies department.
Our first question, is there any service the Majuro study offer the student? If so, what kind of services do they offer?
We have two certificates. One is the Marshallese Language Arts Certificate, and the other one is the Marshallese Social Studies. If you want to be certified to maybe in the future teach Marshallese courses or Marshallese language courses or social study classes, you can come and enroll in our program. There is also the Javier program, which Susan Tiata is our weaver in residence, our only weaver in residence. Another program we offered is the revitalization of fine mats weaving. Also with this program, Susan and I are also teaching a course which is offered under the agroforestry program, and it's called the Textile and Plant-Based Cultural Arts, AGF 204. This is the first semester it's being offered. So it's not under Marshallese Studies, but Susan and I are also teaching it together.
Do you think it's important for the student to know or learn about Majuro study?
Yes, I do think it is really important because, first of all, we are at the College of the Marshall Islands, in the Marshall Islands, and we are Marshallese. You know, our culture represents who we are. It shouldn't start here at CMI. Learning about our culture should start at home with our parents and families.
How many classes does the students have to take to graduate from this program, and what are they?
As I mentioned before, there are two certificate programs. So the language classes, they would be focusing on certain classes that deal with writing and reading in Marshallese. Our social studies would focus on classes that are in the social studies area, but also a few other Marshallese writing courses. Under the social studies, you have to take Marshallese culture, MAR 130. You also have to be, very good in writing Marshallese because you will take Marshallese composition as well as Marshallese grammar. There's also other courses that are part of this program, but they're housed under a different department. So like, for example, the contemporary social issues in Micronesia, the sociology 140, and the history of the Marshall Islands. There's also nuclear issues in the Pacific. And those three courses are housed under the liberal arts department. Total number of credits that you need to take, because we are not a degree program, but a certificate program, but we will be soon. It's only 24 credits, and the Marshallese language arts, it's also 24 credits.
What does the student learn from this program?
In the Marshallese culture class, you learn new things about your culture. Like, we might say we know a lot of our culture, but you learn new words, new terms, new practices that aren't practiced anymore. You learn about things that our ancestors in the past used to use, but we don't use anymore. You also learn chants, legends, and stories. You learn about the history of your Joey, our clan names. If you're interested in the government, we have a Marshallese government class. If you want to learn about how does the government work and learn more about your rights and learn more about the cabinet, the president's cabinet, the three branches, the judiciary, the legislative, and the executive branch, as well as the Kendal, so the advisory council that works alongside with these three branches to make sure that our culture is not being overstepped by our laws that are being made by our government.
That's all. Thank
Okay,
you.
come on.
Wow, what a great interview with Miss Bilimon.
You got that right.
But hey, you know where else is a great place to study Marshallese culture and history?
Where?
Alele Museum.
I think that's where our next interview is gonna be at.
Welcome to the Alele Museum. The name of the museum is inspired by a traditional Marshallese basket called Alele, and over here you can see a display of the Alele. So traditionally, the eldest women of the family holds the Alele basket, and this is the basket that they would use to store the most important belongings of a family. And the eldest woman of the family holds the basket, and it passes down the line to the next female. Here we have some traditional tools that our ancestors used for day-to-day life. Here are some tools that they would use to cut trees and carve canoes. And here you have some medicine founders and medicine satchels. And all of these stones are made from giant clamshells. Right here we have some tools to make food. We have a coconut scraper, pandanus crusher, and then we have some breadfruit peelers. And here is one of the most important tools for our ancestors, and it's called ekwal. This one they would use to assemble and build houses, canoes, and other tools like fishing tools. Right here we have pandanus leaf pounders. We call it Roxene, and they're also made from giant clam. Right here, display of the traditional clothing that our ancestors used to wear. This one is the traditional clothing for women. We call it niere. And this one is the traditional clothing for men, and we call it in. And here are some displays of how they used to wear them. Right here we have some of the traditional housing. Back then the housing would be structured so that the people would stay up. So they wouldn't sleep on the ground floor. They would lounge in this area, and then when it's time to sleep, they would climb up the roof and sleep in this area in the roof. And here are more displays of our traditional mats. Over on this area we have handicrafts that were worn by our ancestors. Nowadays you don't really see most of these creations. We have belts, we have necklaces, we have earrings, and head lace made from shells and giant clams. Here's a display of a clam. It's not as big as the normal giant clam shells. Another display of the Roxene, which is made from the giant clam shells. And they mostly use this to pound pandanus leaves to produce this one. Right here we have various collections of handicrafts and Marshallese creations. This is a collection that was collected by a U.S. military during the World War II period, and his name was Lieutenant Ogan. Traditional fishing tools and traditional fishing methods. We have on display a fish trap, and we call it wu. The flying fish catching method, which is usually used at night to catch the flying fish. So they would light up a torch, and then the flying fish would start flying, and then they would use the fish nets to catch the fish. Other types of fishing method is spear fishing, alele or lemuyo, which requires the whole community to conduct. So they would weave the coconut leaves together and then hold it into a circle to trap the fish. And then once the fish is trapped in there, the people would use spears, fish nets, or use their hands to collect and catch the fish. Right here is traditional tattooing of the Marshall Islands. You will, if you look closely, the patterns for women's tattooing is different from that of men. Symbols would vary depending on the title and rank of people in society. Right here are tools that were used to conduct the traditional tattooing. And here are some Marshallese fish hooks, Marshallese fishing lures.
What are you reading?
The Richest Man in Babylon.
What is this about?
It's about how to manage your money and how to get rich. You know what's another way to get rich? Becoming an entrepreneur and starting your own business. You know who teaches classes like that? Who? Meitaka, Lekka.
First of all, I want to say thank you. And first, I want to say, the first question we have here.
Okay, restart.
My name is AJ Kaneko, and I'm here with.
Meitaka, Lekka.
So, first question: in your own opinion, is business helpful to our economy?
Yes. I teach business studies. I teach business courses, and that's one of the main things we have to make sure our students understand. Why are you majoring in business studies? Why is business important? Why is entrepreneur critical to our economy and whatnot? To answer this question, I'm going to say without business, our economy is not going to thrive. So business is so vital. There's various reasons I could give and talk to you forever, but we go to school, you go to college to get your degree. For what?
Money.
And
for a good job.
Right. Hopefully you find a good job, right? Well, if not for the businesses, because they provide the jobs. So without entrepreneur, without business, how are we going to employ people? It's very important to understand that we want more business study majors, because hopefully they go off to college, they get their business degree. They could be leaders, managers, administrators, but we also hope that they become business entrepreneurs. They start their company is successful. That way they can come back and say, we're hiring. So they provide you and me with jobs. They also fuel our economy. Why? Because, taxes. Not just that, but they fuel competition. When there's competition in our economy, it fuels innovation. You want to be better. You want to be creative. You want to have quality products and make your customers satisfied. And so when there's more businesses out there, there's also more options for you and me as customers. And so it increases the standard of living for us. It provides goods and services. And all of this goes back to you and me. Without business, without entrepreneurship, our economy cannot thrive. Our standard of living, our livelihood depends on business. So that's just one example. I could give you more, but I'll stop there.
What classes do my students have to take to graduate from taking business courses?
The good news is you have to take similar courses with other majors, and those are your general education courses: English, math, humanity. Usually for humanities, social science, you need one. You just need one humanity, one social science, one science with lab, credit English, credit math. The core program courses that we want to emphasize before you graduate, of course, are our courses, depending on which business specialty. So we have accounting specialty, we have management specialty. Again, it depends, but there are about 9 courses overall. If you're taking both accounting and management, then you need to take all 9 courses. If you're taking one specialization, for example, management, then you would only need 7 business courses. That's it. I think we have about 60 credits total, including your general education courses, and you graduate. And a lot of my students, I tell them, you could graduate in less than 2 years. I've asked students if they're able to really take full-time, maybe 5 credits, along with AP in their general education courses, they can graduate in less than 2 years.
I never knew that. And last question, what kind of careers are available to graduates?
And the most important question my students love to ask. This is one thing that I always say. I'm not being biased because I'm a business studies major, but you have to really understand in our daily lives, business courses should start from elementary. Why? You wait until college and then you start to learn about finances and budgets, but we should know this before we become adults, right?
Yeah.
When you study business, it's such a versatile major. Every sector, every industry, they need leaders, managers, administrators. They need that. You cannot say we're in business studies only to do business. No. Every organization, whether it's government entities, whether it's NGOs, whether it's education, who are going to lead these institutions and organizations, you need administrators, you need president, so leadership. So when you take business studies and business courses, these are the courses that are going to enable you to hopefully become the best leader out there, best manager, administrator. And so it's versatile because you can go anywhere. And not just that, but look at accounting. Every industry also needs the best accountants.
Yeah.
They need the best marketing person. And so you can go virtually anywhere. You can go from education, healthcare, NGO, government entity. They need business majors. One of the great things about business studies is you can also be your own boss if you decide, you know what, I'm not going to be someone's manager. I want to be my own manager. Hey, you know what, I'm going to take a break from, that 8 to 5 job. I'm going to start my business. I can be more independent, flexible, make my own money.
More freedom.
Yeah, and so you have so much option if you're a business studies major. You can do business in any industry, whatever you're passionate about. This is one of the things that I try to stress to my students. I tell them, even if you're not sure that business is your thing, but it can get you almost anywhere.
Thank you for making time for our interview, and thank you for all those answers. It's really helpful.
It's my pleasure. I wish you guys the best. Be your own boss.
Hey, what did you get me? A Pokeball. I think I knew that girl. Isn't that a student? I mean, it is the student story. Yeah, but isn't that supposed to be a class or something? We're gonna find out with our next interview with Freddy Jemwai.
And we're here to interview
Freddy Jemwai.
Thank you, Freddy. First question.
Yes.
Is this a class or what is this?
Business 251. In this class, we have 6 graded. So 3 of the graded, you do it in the classroom with the lectures and all the assignment. And then the other half is here, where we, learn customer service and how you work in a store, in a workplace as a businessman or a businesswoman.
And second question. What skills can you learn from working inside the store?
There's a lot that we all learn. We learn how to interact with our customer service. At the same time, how to manage financially, how can we make profit here and keep this store running? How can we work in a team, We are different background, we have different age group, but we have to learn how to come together to work as a team. We know that this is small, but it really help us for our future plan if we are into the plan of business.
Last question. What do you guys sell inside the student store that students or people should come and get?
We have snack, soda. Here we go. We have some variety of drinks, and right now we are doing fundraising. We come up with the plan to sell a small bowl of poke bowl.
How much?
Only $4.
Only $4.
Yes,
So
please come. We are here. We open sometime 8:30. We will be open until 5:30.
Okay, so come get your poke bowl, and thank you, Mr. Freddy, for our interview.
Thank you, sir.
Have a good day.
Guys, yeah.
So good. Dude, are you even listening to the lecture? Dude, I passed out. I don't blame you because this class is kind of boring. Yeah, it must be tough being a teacher. That's why in our next interview, Rosie Koroi is going to explain to us what being a great educator is all about.
Can you introduce yourself and what is your job position?
My name is Rosie Koroi. I work in education department. Currently, I am the chair of the department.
What do you think is the most important skill for educators to have?
In elementary or high school, you have to have the passion to teach kids. Passion and patience. You need to be committed.
What changes have you seen in education over the years?
I suppose in the students. Students have changed a lot from up to today. Now you are exposed to the internet. You have a lot of things that you can learn from the internet. Students are more knowledgeable coming to school. So when they come to school, they have a lot of knowledge. So as teachers, we also have to be on track and up with our game with the students learning.
What challenges do you face in the education system nowadays?
Here in Marshall Islands should be motivating our students to come to school, also making sure they come to school, complete their schooling years, have a good education. And maybe on the other side would be having teachers who are qualified to teach them.
What advice would you give to students that are taking education as their major?
Teaching is a passion. It's also a noble profession. And I hope that you understand it's a demanding job. It's also a satisfying and enjoyable vocation. So when you become a teacher, you make a difference in the lives of the students you teach.
And that's how Einstein proved his theory of relativity. I told you she was a genius. That's my girl.
Did you fall asleep again?
Sorry, didn't get enough sleep. Hey, Mr. Alex.
What is it?
You know what you need?
What?
Some classroom discipline, and that's why Tony Theomae is going to show us how he does classroom discipline at co-op in the next interview.
My name is Tony Theomae. I'm from the Solomons. I'm a high school science and mathematics teacher.
What are some challenges you face throughout the day?
If it's a class, managing the class, but then workload, like we have to mark. Imagine like 70 students, I have to mark the work.
So how do you handle classroom discipline?
Management starts with the routine that the teacher sets. I make classroom rules, and then at the beginning of the school year, I will tell the students, these are my rules. Like I make 3 strikes, they know after 1, there's 2, 3, they'll be down 4. Maybe over like after 1 month, students start to get used to that routine. Sometimes we call it Superman look. Like, you know, when students talk, we just look at them. I just use my eyes, right? And then students will be like, oh. So like, you don't have to shout, right? So sometimes we'll just stand and then look at the class without talking. It's like silent. And then the students will start to see like the first one will see you and then tap the other one until the whole class will just go quiet and we'll just stand and then, are you guys ready?
Next question, what do you like most about teaching?
We say human minds, so that's why it's very challenging because we deal with 30 different minds in one room. When you see a student graduate or they succeed in any test, at least someone achieved their goals and success because at one stage there was a teacher and it's like us.
Can you explain to us what a typical lesson looks like?
So it usually starts with an opening, warm-up activity, something like that. I have what I call my 10, that's me doing the examples. And then our 10, that's me and the students, I call it example practice, where they do work, they're allowed to make mistakes, I correct it. And then the last one will be your 10. So that means the students need to work on their own. That's the activities that I will collect, and then I mark to check whether they are right or wrong. And then there's conclusions, like at the end of the lesson. It depends on the teacher. It's dynamic, I would say. A teacher can come with a lesson prepared really good, but then when he sees the class with his own skills, he will like has to change to fit in that day in that class.
Last question, what advice do you have for people who want to become educators?
It's the best job ever. My advice, if you want money, do not come and teach. You don't get paid like any other job, right? It requires a bit of sacrifice. And I say it's the best job because we shape future of any country, wherever we work. After 10 years, those kids will become leaders. You must want to be a teacher. It's like a calling. And I still love teaching, and every day I learn more. Every day in a classroom is always a new day. Even though it is the same students, but everything will be new. Become a teacher if you can handle sleepless nights. You have to mark while everybody rests, write report cards, work overtime and don't get paid. But yeah, it's fun.
What are you reading? A marine science textbook. Why are you reading that? Because I think the fish are cute. Yeah, it makes me want to study marine science. I think it would be so cool to become a marine protector. That's why in our next interview, we'll be with
Marine Science!
Alright, that was alright.
Yeah. He said it's alright. Hello, my name is Kendal, Romany, and I am the Marine Science Coordinator at the College of the Marshall Islands.
First question is, what classes does marine science offer?
To successfully complete the certificate of completion in marine science, you have to complete 6 courses. So you would start with the introductory courses. You have an option between environmental science and marine biology, and then you would do climate change. Once you have completed those 2 courses, you will then advance. When you advance, you would do marine field research methods and tropical marine ecosystems of the Pacific. And then you will advance into your final semester for marine science. In this semester, you would do integrated coastal management alongside internship in marine science. And then you are ready to graduate.
If a student studies marine science, what should they expect?
In terms of employment, they can work in the capacity of a marine field research technician, or they can work in the capacity of a marine lab technician.
So Kendall, what do your marine protectors do?
My marine protectors, they are like the lifeblood of the program, I would say, or the heartbeat of the program. They deal with all the background operations. So, for example, they are the ones who would do the promotional activities. So, they would work on recruitment. Another thing that they would do is outreach. So we also have some outreach activities where we involve like the community. So we will do like beach cleanup drives. We would also go to high schools and we will present research work to the high school students. And they also engage in research as well. So any type of environmental activity that they are very passionate about, they will scientifically investigate that. For any CMI student who is interested in joining the marine science program, I just want you to know that this is not just an academic pursuit. It is your livelihood and it is also your culture, right? And lastly, this is your environmental responsibility, and this is what marine science is.
It's worse than I thought. How's it? So am I healthy or not?
You're expiring in a month.
What?
Your driver's license.
What are you? Are you not a nurse?
No, I'm not, but that job does sound interesting.
That's why in our next interview, we'll be with nurse instructor Moses Sumaoang.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Cieom Watak, and I'm here with
Moses Sumaoang, instructor of the nursing department.
first question. What classes do students have to take to graduate from the program?
General education requirements, we have 44 credits, and nursing and allied health requirements. And we have also another program, certificate in public health. We have 29 credits in order for a student to be awarded a certificate in public health. Now, this certificate in public health will lead you to have a Bachelor of Science in Public Health. So there are so many scholarships here offered.
What are some important qualities a nurse should have?
Honest, sincerity, and loyal.
What are the most important things a nurse should know?
The most important thing a nurse should know is the responsibility of taking care of the patient. And they will be trained here in Theomae because they will be taking some procedures in everything that they will do in the hospital. Procedures are being studied here in this nursing lab. You know, we have patients that lying down, so they will practice on them in giving injections, giving medications, and making bed for patient. Plenty of procedures for them to master so that they can apply it to their patient when they go to the hospital.
What kind of experience will students get as intern?
The experience is a lot. Theory plus hands-on. When I say theory, we will study how to give different kinds of injections or parenteral medications such as intradermal, under the skin, intramuscular, through the skin, and intravenous, through the vein. Not only this giving injections, calculations of medication. Here in nursing, we don't allow error. It should be specific. Error is never accepted here because if you are giving medications that is not prescribed or that's not the correct dose, then the patient might die.
Last question, do you have any advice from semester?
My advice is if your passion is to take care of patient, take care of sick people, then you will be good in this department. Now, if you finish nursing, not only nursing, but you go forward and take medicine and also some related fields in allied health, allied services. This is a very lucrative profession because all over the world, they need nurses, doctors, pharmacists. Very welcome.
Ever wondered what it's like to do practicum as a nurse? Well,
In our next interview, we will interview Morton Johnson, senior nursing student.
Hello everyone, my name is Ester Helkena and I'm with.
My name is Morton Johnson and I'm nursing senior this year.
My first question is, why did you choose nursing?
From my own perspective, I choose nursing to help people that I care about.
What could you do as a practicum student?
In our clinical activities at the hospital, we assess patients with their condition. We educate them about their medical history, medical condition, what they should and what they should not do. We prescribe them medication to ease their pain and improve healthy life.
Now for some funny moments.
And that's how Einstein proved his theory of relativity.
Oh.
What are you reading?
The richest man on earth.
Certificate, not certificate, sorry. You delete.
No.
Associate degree.